because we have so many vices for us to numb ourselves out with through alcoholics
Substance,
and
yeah,
or alcohol, sorry, and substance and
yeah.
just distractions of quick dopamine rushes of scrolling. We have so many means of being
That's the era
distracted.
we're in for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like for our generation and after, there are a lot of distractions and maladaptive coping that we can't deny. It is hard to push through and persevere and go the adaptive route,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
you've done that. You're an example of that and a
Mm-hmm.
pillar in the community. And probably everyone that is around you and interacts with you
Mm-hmm.
gets that benefit of the ripple effect. But even if we take it back to our parents' generation and before that,
Yeah.
I think their vices are their own inner demons and just their own insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
They're very focused on the outward stuff, reputation, slander, gossip, and that keeps them really inhibited.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't go do the healthy thing. They don't go to the rec center. They
Yeah.
don't go to the Y. They don't
Mm-hmm.
do these things. I just had a chat with my dad the other day, and he was talking about like empty nest depression, which is very commonplace
Mm-hmm.
for his generation, right? It
Mm-hmm.
comes up in client meetings as well. And I said, well, Dad, we're in BC. There's so many things. Like
Mm-hmm.
you could go learn swimming. He
Mm-hmm.
knows how to swim, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Go to the rec center. You could be doing this. You could be doing that. And it just wasn't landing. And it felt so foreign for him to be like, well, why do I need to socialize with the community? My kids should come sit here
Yeah.
with me. And I
Yeah.
said, okay, but then what would we be doing? And he's like, well, my hobby is watching sports. And it's like, well, I don't know if that's a hobby though.
Mm.
And so it's so normalized to not be engaged, not be playing recreational sports later in life for South Asian community,
Mm-hmm.
and to be like very bonded and
Mm-hmm.
closed
Mm-hmm.
and just like stay in your own home, like be homebodies. Why do you suppose that is?
So I have a lot of empathy for that generation because they showed up here with $4 in their pocket and their number one thing was survival.
Survive. Hmm.
And then they had kids. And then that responsibility just kept pouring on, pouring on, pouring on.
Hmm.
And they didn't have the luxury of foresight to
Nice.
be like, our kids are going to become 20, 21, go to uni, get married, and move
Appa
out.
kalle reh jana, yeah.
They didn't,
Mm.
they couldn't think of that because they had to put food on the table. They had to make, so that's
Yeah.
why they had to make money to establish their kids, pay for their schooling, all of this stuff without no knowledge in a foreign country, right?
Yeah.
And they eventually, time is undefeated. It got them to this point of the war is over,
Huh.
the battle's done,
Yeah.
Hornicky,
Yeah.
because they didn't have the ability to think that. Some of them can pivot and kind of do their own thing,
For sure.
but a lot of them, they have that and I feel it, I get it, it
Yeah.
makes sense, it on paper. I would be more surprised if they didn't. It'd
Yeah.
probably be a sign of some sort of narcissistic behavior
Yeah.
that or thought
That
processes
they
that they don't
don't care
care
that
that.
their birdies
So
flew away.
the fact that their heart has broken
Huh.
is a part of it, but that's what life is. Life is
Yeah.
going to break your heart, and then you're going to have to learn from
They
it.
haven't
right?
embraced that yet.
And you have to lead with compassion with that and understand that,
Yeah.
because and it's okay if they don't fix it, because sometimes being a child of a parent like that, you want for them more than they want for themselves, and you have
And
to
you
get out
feel
of the way.
guilty and you feel
100%.
responsible.
100%.
Like as he was speaking, I was starting to feel all those waves of
Yeah.
guilt